when we're isolated alone at home, maintaining our mental well-being becomes more essential. I mean, living in an expat country, as you know, rightfully mentioned, so many of us are far, away from our families, and so many of us are singles. I mean, so being isolated at home, I mean, when we look at the millennials, and so it's harder on them.
Hello everyone, good afternoon. This is the Lovin Show, and today we are joined by a mental health expert, Ebru Goksu Yildirim, who's joining us on the show to talk a little bit about mental health well-being at this time. Welcome to the show. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. Thanks for inviting me here. I'm thrilled to be here, and also it's a very great opportunity for me to connect with the Lovin in Dubai followers.
Well, not at all. I think we are thrilled to have you because I think your expertise at the moment is going to be invaluable to some of our audience. Before we get into some questions about how people can cope a little bit better during this time, can you give us a small background about yourself and what you do?
Yeah, sure, definitely. I mean, I've been here for 15 years, and if someone asks me where's home, I say Dubai. So Dubai has been an amazing home for me. I've grown here, changed here, fallen in love here, and got married here. So so many beautiful things happened in my life in Dubai. My background in marketing communications. I spent nearly 20 years in marketing communications, and my personal development and change, spiritual growth started in 2008 when I started questioning what was missing in my life in a way. So making sure that I was a better leader of my life and better leader at work. So and started from there. In 2011 I started taking coaching trainings, and since then I've been always on a training, and I left the corporate world in 2014, and starting from there I started focusing on coaching, executive leadership, and team coaching. I'm also a coach trainer, so it's been a very fulfilling life so far in Dubai.
Absolutely, it sounds busy. So today we want to touch on, I think, tips for parents, tips for people who want to maybe work out more, tips for the people who want to help the community. So my first question to you is, what about parents who are at home right now who are struggling with having to work, having to deal with their kids, and can they prioritize their mental health, and how should they do it? Do you have tips for that?
I mean, God bless the parents during this period, right?
100%. I don't even know how they're doing it.
Me neither. I mean, being a non-parent, I can only imagine what they're going through, to be honest with you. This is not an area of expertise for me, but however, I can relate to it in a way from a relationship intelligence point of view. So many things changed in their lives. Roles and responsibilities changed, first of all. So being a teacher was a responsibility of a teacher at school. Now they're kind of homeschooling their kids. So it's a new role that they started taking on, and it wasn't designed. And with them, it's just, in a way, they found themselves in this reality. So it's a big change, and it comes with different responsibilities, and it's a big change for the kids as well. I mean, they're apart from their mates, and that school environment, which brings structure, is no longer there. So everyone is adapting to this new way of living. I mean, from a relationship point of view, intelligence point of view, perhaps what I can suggest is that putting in place a very good design. I mean, we can enforce this on kids. However, it doesn't mean that it will lead to accountability and responsibility and commitment, right? And if we are to sit with the kids and design how they want to be during this period,
nice,
and what they want to show ownership for, it's first of all, it's empowering. And second of all, they will commit to what feels right for them. I mean, as adults, we are looking for life and work balance, and it's the same for the kids. So it's like study and playtime balance that I can imagine. And also for adults, when we look at ourselves, it's so hard to sit in front of a computer at home for 8 hours. And we are expecting those kids to sit in front of a computer for so many hours, long hours. So perhaps, leaving some breaks in between where they can play and, offload that energy. They are buzzing with energy. They need to kind of release it. It will bring balance to their lives. And I'm thinking that also normalizing what they are going through will help as well. It is stressful, it is challenging in a way, and it's okay. Mm-hmm. It's okay. We're just human beings. Absolutely. I hope this answers your question.
It does. It was really nice. And one of my questions was going to be, as employees, if for the majority of people who are sitting at home, it's very difficult to make the distinction between your work life and your home life now, because it's just running into one and days are continuing. But I guess that's kind of the same answer in terms of making a specific design and following it.
Indeed. And it requires also self-discipline. I mean, I've been working from home heavily since 2014. I mean, of course, I have corporate work and I go out and so on and so forth. And also, when I made a decision to have a home office, it required a lot of discipline. I mean, coming from the corporate environment, constantly stimulated with noise and excitement and with people, so surrounded with people, everything just faded away, disappeared, and it was very hard. And the learning there was really distinguishing these spaces, separating these spaces. So and it requires, again, in a way, self-discipline. So whatever space that we can create at home for ourselves as a workspace, first of all, we need to personalize that at this time, because we're also self-isolated. So at the moment, the motivation kind of is something else that we need to find from within. So it needs to be an inner drive, inner motivation. And for that, we need to be very creative. Sometimes I'm having calls and I'm seeing people having those meetings and and sessions in their bedroom, and I don't think that it's the right place to have, because we're collapsing the space. So instead of collapsing different spaces in our house, if we are to designate one area where we can step into that, kind of work state of mind, then we will maintain our motivation well, and we will stay more focused. And also, dressing up is very important. Don't have these meetings when you have your pajamas on. I mean, the Zoom meetings, maybe the camera is not on and it's not being recorded. And so, however, show that self-respect and respect to what you do, and change your clothing and put makeup on. It doesn't matter. So if there is another person in front of the camera or not, it's just that mental shift from who I am at home to who I am at home when I'm working, in a way.
100% for me. I found getting up in the morning, showering, putting on makeup, and putting on even a top that represents something I wear to work. But you mentioned self-motivation and discipline, and I want to talk about a lot of news stories at the moment. Lovin Dubai is kind of talking about people who are completing these challenges in their home, 100 kilometers marathon. An Abu Dhabi resident this morning we talked to did 722 kilometers in the space of 19 days. And I want to talk about these people are achieving incredible things, but as someone who's sitting at home and finding it difficult to motivate myself, what tips would you give to that person who we're constantly seeing the overachievers? How do you deal with that in your living room if you are fighting with kind of your own negative thoughts?
I mean, it's fascinating, right? Seeing those people, just running for at home 20K. I mean, one of my clients, they just rented some gym gears and they're working out at home. So I'm always amazed and inspired by those people. I mean, maybe before I answer that question, maybe we can pause and kind of revisit the change behavior. So there are three characteristics. First of all, and we can group people under these characteristics. So some of us are leapers. So when a change happens, they adapt to change so fast, and they are ahead of the curve. They are even trendsetters in a way. And some of us are very traditionalists. So they are the protector of the status quo, and they move slowly. And it's okay again. Yeah. And some of them are bridge makers, right? Then bridge makers they are the ones who go and test the water and check in what suits them, but they kind of bridge the gap between the leapers and the traditionalists. So we all move forward with a different pace, but everything starts with an acceptance. So it's again part of the change theory in a way. So first we show shock and denial, and then maybe anger may come out of it. There's bargaining, and then after fear and all this processing, there's acceptance. And once acceptance happens, and we start valuing who we are and our well-being, we can start taking little initiatives. I mean, not everyone has to be a big achiever, and however, setting little goals every morning, little intentions for ourselves every morning, and achieving those little goals at the end of the day will give us a sense of achievement and a kind of satisfaction. So, I mean, I can't run. This is not something that I can do, and I don't enjoy, but one of the best things that I found so far online is this walk at home videos. And they're working for me miraculously. I just sweat out and everything. And after 20 minutes or 30 minutes, I'm energized. So there are always different, we are so blessed. At the age that we live right now, there are so many opportunities. And we just need to pause and check in. What is it that we need? And what is it that we are ready to do? What is it that we are open for? And as a result of that, we can pick whatever that is suitable for us.
100% finding something that suits us. I agree with that totally. And moving on a little bit, so Dubai is unique in that so many of us live here and our families live abroad, whether we have kind of elderly relatives or mums and dads or cousins or aunts and uncles or siblings. What information can you give for someone who is isolating alone at this time, especially when social media is filled with actually people isolating together, families having amazing family moments at this time, but actually a lot of Dubai is isolating alone. Do you have any tips for that?
Yes, and again, it's when we're isolated alone at home. Maintaining our mental well-being becomes more essential. I mean, living in an expat country, as you rightfully mentioned, so many of us are far away from our families, and so many of us are singles. I mean, so being isolated at home. I mean, when we look at the millennials, and so it's harder on them. Coming back to what they might be experiencing is kind of a feeling of loss in a way, and it may lead to grief and panic at times. There is a sense of fear, and which is normal, and it's part of our survival as humans. Some certain level of fear is healthy. That helps us to wash our hands, put our gloves on and mask on, and stock up some essentials. But when it leads to panic, then it paralyzes our system. It kind of creates a short circuit in a way. So I believe that it's a great reminder. These unprecedented times that we are going through are great reminders of the importance of connections. And the connection starts with our relationship with ourselves. So looking inwards and in a way identifying, where I am, what do I deserve, what is my potential, and then dreaming up afterwards for what I can do with who I am. And again, setting new goals every morning. I mean, keeping up that connection and interaction with our friends and families. And isn't it so amazing that people are so creative? I mean, I don't know, since the beginning of the lockdown, how many Zoom birthday parties I had.
100%.
And people that I wouldn't be able to see. I mean, if these meetings, gatherings were happening face to face, from Switzerland to Italy to, I don't know, far as, we all were in the same space, and it still is intimate. So, but it takes some efforts. And willingness to put those efforts in. So another thing that we can do is that really, checking in our media consumption and how healthy those media coverages are. So it requires some balance as well. There are so many, there's so many toxic news out there.
Yeah.
And not necessarily they are reliable. So instead of just waking up early in the morning and grabbing the phone and just checking what disaster is happening across the world today, we can just pause and settle and set a good intention for the day to achieve those little goals. And at the same time, decide how many times that I want to really be exposed to this news. My humble suggestion will be reading news once or twice a day, and trusting the governments that they are taking the right measurements forward. And trusting that we are being looked after in a way. And thing that they may like to do is, looking after their well-being, which we talk about, ensuring a well-ventilated room. Eating healthy is very essential during this time. Improved sleeps, and home exercise, the way how we dress up, and these all will boost our motivation. Another thing is that I think this is a great opportunity for us to cherish those amazing memories, which we had with our loved ones, and at the same time cherishing our success. What got us here. So it's another opportunity to have a positive outlook. And I think lastly, what I can share is humor. I mean, humor, that changed everything. So again, it's a kind of a shift in our lens. We can look at things through a stressful lens, or we can look at things from a lighter lens. And when we look at the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, yes, once we take care of the physiological needs, then we move to most likely kind of the emotional, safety needs. And what is next is love and belonging. So, and now in this change process, we move there. So this is a time to feel more loud and joyous, and so from my perspective.
So many great things there, especially I felt that cherishing what we have kind of left out, and cherishing memories, because at the moment as we stand still and no one can really plan new things, we can look back and just really appreciate what we have. It's amazing. But going back to what you said, you mentioned kind of love and family. This is the holy month of Ramadan. It is a month for family. It's also a month for giving and generosity. Is there any way that we can kind of help and support our community or support our loved ones and family and friends at this time?
Yeah, I mean, listening to you, I get goosebumps, honestly speaking. So many things are happening at the same time, right? It's the holy Ramadan, the holy month of Ramadan, and at the same time, we're going through this pandemic, and there's kind of a wake-up call happening, right? And that reminds me one of the quotes of Dalai Lama. I may not remember it word by word, but it says that the planet doesn't need more successful people. In a way, the planet needs more peacemakers, healers, restorers, storytellers, and lovers of all kinds. And isn't it the opportunity just to come from that place? I'm in a way I feel very motivated. So things that we can do is that I feel, first of all, what feels purposeful for us, we can look into it. What will give fulfillment to us? I mean, the Dubai government had an initiative, and they called up, call for. There was a call to action message, and they called for people to be more volunteer. Right? They look for volunteers. And we could have taken part of it, and if it's not filled up yet, there's still an opportunity.
For anyone who's watching, just for anyone who's watching,
yeah.
It is called the Dubai for a Day app, and they're constantly taking volunteers. So it's an amazing initiative. Continue.
Wonderful. Thanks for sharing. And we all have different skill sets. We all have different talent. And within our, different skill sets and talent, there's something to offer. I mean, and we don't have to cure the disease, but we can bake a cake and offer it to our neighbor next door, who's self-isolated, alone, most likely. That's something giving back to the community. We can do so many pro bono work. I mean, from mentoring to sharing our knowledge and expertise. Creating virtual spaces, for others to learn from ourselves, or whatever we learn from others, just passing this on to the next person. So it's just, I feel that it requires a kind of a shift in our perspective, and coming from a place of more giving. And when we're more giving, we are more fulfilled and actually balanced beings.
Amazing. Before we go, I know that your expertise and your knowledge lies in kind of coaching and training in the workforce. So I just want to talk about, there are many people who are adjusting to life at home and they're actually thriving as employees at home, but now they may be anxious about people who've been sitting at home for 2 months. Maybe they're scared to go back into the workforce, to go back into the workplace daily. Do you have any tips for them?
And it's normal, right? So for some of us, it was a dream come true. So especially for introverts, that stimulation and the noise and distraction, everything faded away. And they had this open, spacious, space kind of for themselves where they could focus and deepen their thinking. And again, it's another way of change. And it's okay if they are feeling anxious about going back to the workforce. Perhaps I can offer kind of an emotional recovery tool to them. First of all, just checking in what they're facing. It's called RAIN. It's an acronym, so RAIN. So R stands for recognize. So what is it that you're feeling at the moment? What is it that you might be thinking towards, going back to the workspace, and then normalizing that. So this is how I'm feeling, and this is what my thoughts towards it, and it's all okay. Then A comes in. A stands for allow. Allow is like accepting and allowing what it is. And accepting is not like that being happy about it, right? Not necessarily we need to be happy about the next phase of change, but just let it be, because and control the controllables. So when we let it be, there's a sense of acceptance and lack of attachment. And so, which means we can set ourselves for free. And the next step is investigate. So I stands for investigate, and investigating. Really going deeper in a way. So, what is my judgment towards going back to the workplace? What is my worry about it? What is the truth about me, so that I might be forgetting about? So because I used to work well, right? I used to kind of find my peace in that. And also, what is it that I'm learning from the self-isolation that I can carry with me when I'm back to the workplace? And then non-identification. So it means, so we are way beyond our thoughts and emotions. We are the observers of us, and we are the intelligence behind that. So it's just those emotions and thoughts are part of our being, but they don't define us. So once we accept that, we can be fully, I trust that we can find ways to motivate ourselves with the learning and this kind of investigation of what's happening, what can happen. We can have a new dream about how we can be when we're back to the workplace.
Thank you. I kind of wish I'd been taking notes throughout that, because I feel like there's so many valuable learnings there. If any of our audience wants to get in touch with you, wants to reach out to you, do you have a social channel that they can reach out to?
Yes. I don't know what I'm allowed to share here. So I have an Instagram page. It's on Unlock Potentials.
Unlock Potentials.
I have a LinkedIn page. And also they can find me online. My website is unlockpotentials.com.
Amazing, thank you. I think thank you so much for your time, because I think at the moment it's so important for us to kind of look inwardly and know that what we're experiencing is okay at the moment, and that it's okay not to be okay. And we just touched a little bit on so many topics there, but you have so much to give. So thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it today. My pleasure. And it's been a real pleasure to join me in today. Thanks for the opportunity. Okay, thank you guys. That is the Lovin Show. If you want to get in touch, drop some questions in the comments below, and see you back same time, same place next week. Wash your hands. Bye.